Hello, my name is Demetrius Daniel, and this is my third confessional for the Harvard Diversity project. Yesterday's meeting was very, very fun and interesting. Obviously, as y'all know, Khalid, Dakota, and I were chosen to lead Circle Time, which was something very not what I was expecting at all. I was literally like, I think at the pool when I got the message that I was gonna be helping leading it, and I was like, what? Like I had no idea that that was gonna obviously happen, and I was like, well, that's actually really cool, right? And that was we were like the first people that were gonna be able to do that, so I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And when I saw that Dakota and Colleen were also gonna be in the group, I thought that was really cool too because I feel like the three of us kind of have a little bit of the same energy, and I think that's why y'all put us together. And I might be wrong, but that's kind of just what I was thinking about it. But it was really cool. We kind of got to work on our idea like kind of right away. We had our own separate group chat so we wouldn't like buzz y'all up with our ideas, and so it was kind of like a surprise. But I think we worked together really, really well. We came up with our ideas when we were in the group chat for the Circle Time, and we kind of had everything planned out. We tried to get everything planned out ahead of time so that it wouldn't be really last minute, and we wanted it to be something that we felt like everybody in the class could kind of participate in. So obviously everyone has some kind of facts about them that we wouldn't know, and so that's a really good inclusive way to do that. So that's what I thought of, and so I really, really enjoyed that. I also enjoyed kind of having leading the actual like Circle Time like in class. That was really, really fun because it was really funny too because I felt like it was like a kind of a little bit of a lot of yelling involved, especially when someone thought that like they guessed a song and really it wasn't. And it was funny to think about what everyone saw of each other, because we would give the facts and then someone would think it was someone else, but really it would be like somebody completely different. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed seeing everybody like kind of get to know different facts about each other, and kind of like I know for me personally, there were like a lot of times during it where I was like, when they were sending me their facts, that I was kind of like, whoa, like I had the same thing, like this, I can relate to this. So that's kind of what I was really hoping to incite with other people in the cohort, was that they could find facts that we wouldn't know about them, and somebody else in the cohort could be like, well, I can relate to that, like that's that to me too, and somebody else could do that, and so we could kind of relate more to each other and get closer. So that was my main impact, and I feel like that went really well, and I think everyone kind of really enjoyed it, especially with the music and things like that. But now let's talk about how I felt before, during, and after class. Before class, I felt a little bit, I wouldn't say anxious, but kind of like busybodied, because I still, not everything had fallen into place because not everyone responded to my messages. So I was kind of like, okay, if they don't respond, this thing can't be like that good. So obviously I was planning on get to everyone's facts. Obviously it didn't end up happening, but which is fine. But I was kind of just trying to make sure that I got everybody's facts, since nobody would feel left out. And so I had to go up there and kind of go around to everybody and be like, hey, can I get your facts or your info? And I would have them send them to me. And I kind of had to like pull everything together in the end, because I didn't want anybody to feel left out at all, because that's really what I did not want. And I think we did a pretty good job of doing that. I mean, obviously there were some people that didn't get to get their facts read out, and I do feel a little bit sorry for that, but there was just time management, and we didn't want to make everybody else feel rushed, in a sense. And I really like how Dakota added the fact that we could all gives everybody else, or the person that guesses the person, they can give them not an endorsement, but give them a compliment for them, because I feel like that's also really important too. And we didn't do that last time, I don't believe. So I really enjoyed that. During class, I felt really invested, and I felt really like pumped to like to learn and to like be able to contribute to the class. I definitely feel like a lot more of a comfortable space now. Like I'm not kind of holding back really, or not really like I'm not stressed like I was in the beginning of the, or like the first couple of classes. Like the first couple of classes, I did not want to stand up at all. I was kind of scared, blah blah blah. But like now, I literally kind of just impulsively do it. Now it's kind of like I'm not even really like I'm thinking about it. Obviously, you have to think about everything, but I feel like I'm kind of just doing it. It's like natural at this point, which I think is pretty good. And I felt really inclusive. And the after class, I felt like satisfied. I felt like we did a good job with the circle time and everything went smoothly. And I feel like we did a really good job during class as well. So I was happy about that. Wasn't happy about the rain, but that's something that's completely different. So now going into what we talked about in class, the Genesis part that we talked about earlier really hit different, I guess you could say, because I just realized that there's so many things and so many angles on tasks that I feel like I'm not even thinking about. Like when Fleming was talking about how what we thought about Lucifer, the fall of Lucifer in between the first and second, I was kind of thinking about completely different things. I was thinking about why he fell down there, what happened, where did he go. I was thinking about all these things, but there were just so many other angles that I wasn't even looking at. Like Fleming was talking about how the measure of time, like how long did it take him to fall? What was he doing like that entire time? Like I wasn't even thinking about that. And when Fleming first said it, I really didn't understand what he was saying. Well, I understand what he was saying, but I didn't really understand it for like a good like 7 seconds, and then it really hit me. I was like, oh my gosh. And then now it's hitting me just now. Like there's so many other sides of everything that I don't think about and that other people do. And I think that just really shows why it's powerful to listen to other people, because other people are going to have different sides or different viewpoints than you are. And it's really amazing to be able to have all those viewpoints. You could have more of a better understanding. And so I really was not thinking about the whole time aspect of it, but that really got me like how long did it take him to fall? And also, if the earth was void and nothingness, then where did Lucifer go? Like if he was cast down to earth from heaven, and that is supposedly a theory of like the reason as to why it was void, where was he? Like was he in the void? Was he like floating around it? Like I don't know. That's something that I was also thinking. But yeah, that was really crazy to me thinking about that, as to like how many viewpoints of everything there are that we don't even get to know, or we just don't know. Something else we were talking about that was really interesting was the whole gender concept, and that really I tried to tread lightly because I did not want to overstep. I didn't want to offend anyone. I didn't want to. It was the same thing with the whole woman and demoralizing that we are talking about last week. I did not want to like overstep or do anything like that. Like, I didn't. That's like the last thing I wanted to do. So I didn't want to ease myself out of the conversation. That's not what I want to do at all, because I'm going to eventually need to have this conversation with the kids of my own if they ever feel this way. But I just didn't want to like say something I wasn't sure about, and that could be how do I say harming to somebody else. I don't know why I can think of the word for that. But I think the definition that we went over was, for gender at least, was the societal interpretations based on sex characteristics. And I 100% agree with that. I think I helped make one of those definitions as well. My video can't got out for some reason. It cut out. I don't know why. I think it's when my phone died. But anyways, continuing with what I was saying, I agree with that definition a lot. For a couple of different reasons. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, where I know Mani and Jonah were getting into a little bit of a discussion or argument about how society impacts gender. And Jonah was talking about how society just should not determine how a person feels and how it's internal. But I understand where Amani is coming from, because with other things, you see a book as a book because that's what everyone has told you. That's what society has told you what a book is. And so it's like, I feel like, I feel like society has kind of given us a frame of reference for everything, and like kind of definitions or forms of stuff. So, I mean, society would see me as a boy, and they might see Amani as a girl, and maybe Amani does not want to identify as one, but I guess that would be more for sex. So I think that's really difficult. I think I agree more than Jonah then, because it's kind of like society should not, their interpretation of you should not affect gender or how you feel your gender is. That's more for like sex, where the whole thing. So I don't think their interpretations of you should really impact how you feel about your gender. But I do see where she's coming from for that, how people do that anyways. That was not great, the best grammar, but you know what I mean. So people do that anyways. So I see where she's coming from, but it's not the best. So I guess I do understand where she's coming from, but I don't know if that was the best definition or the best thing she would do. So for my definition of, I think we all got to the same kind of agreement for the definition of toxic masculinity, which was the aggressive belief that portraying in feminine characteristics, or this is my definition, the aggressive belief that portraying in feminine characteristics or actions makes one shy or makes one any less masculine. And I agree with that definition, because I feel like that's how a lot of people in today's world act. They act as if you have any feminine characteristics, that makes you any less of a man or anything like that. So, which is not true, or any less of a male, I guess, which is definitely not true, because it does not alter your sex or in any way at all, unless you have the biological characteristics. But that's not what we're talking about. So I agree with that. Next, we have morals, which was a lot. It was a lot different than things that I have been taught, and I don't really think I was taught about any of this really. But we really split up first politics into two different things, which is morality and utility. And utility is basically realism. The fact is based on facts, and then morality is based on idealism. So like how things should be. And then morality has different things like ethics, and there's ethics, utility, and deontology. Deontology is law. Utility is like the most beneficial for like everyone, or for most beneficial outcome. And then ethics is like religious law, like the Bible or any kind of religious text. And that's pretty much what I got. And like utility is more like scientific and things like that. And more morality, like the common trend between the things about morality, that they're all like unable to prove, while utility are all scientific, so they're all based off of facts. And I like that one more because it's more factual based. And that's about it for my confessional. I think it's pretty good. And the one more thing, that something we also talked about, like what is that thing that's inside us, like that's like pricking us, telling us to like feel bad for that homeless person on the street. And we were kind of having a discussion about that, and we decided that it was the moral compass. And that makes a lot of sense to me. I've heard about a moral compass before, but I wasn't actually sure what it was or what it did. I know I feel like that a couple times. Like, today we were driving and found a homeless person that was kind of like asking people for money as we drove by. And I felt bad for that person, but it's also hard for me to do that, because it's like I have no idea what got them there. I don't know what the reason was. I don't know whose fault it was. So it's hard for me to, if I don't know all the information, it's hard for me to place blame or feel any kind of remorse or bad over somebody if I don't know everything that happened. Because either way, I feel bad for them, because no human being should really have to suffer like that, right? Unless they've completely brought it upon themselves in every single way. But I think the moral compass is definitely what drives us to feel remorse or feel bad for somebody else. because that's how we are. Anyways, that's the end of my confessional. Thank you so much for letting Dakota, Colleen, and I lead Circle Time. I really enjoyed it. I think it was really a great experience, and it's not something that I was gonna at all expect to be doing, like literally at all. And I really enjoyed it though. So I'm glad that we kind of did a good job, and you guys think that we did a good job. I'm very happy about that. So that is all. Thank you so much for giving us this amazing opportunity. Again, this is an amazing opportunity to be able to be in this cohort with amazing other Black minds, and I think it's really awesome. Thank you so much.